Welcome to another Battle of Britain episode, a bonus episode on Let's Play Battlefield 1942. I've just started here close to the very beginning of the round, as you saw earlier from the scoreboard. Now you may be curious why I would return to this level yet again. I've already done a number of different episodes here on Battle of Britain, but it's because I haven't shown one really crucial element to this map. Some would argue it's the Allied side, the way they're supposed to play, and that's using these radar towers and flak guns to defend against the German planes. As you can see, there's a big radar swipe that goes around the icon when you're in the radar tower, and it shows a little spawn point icon whenever there's a friendly or hostile vehicle, including jeeps apparently. That's the stationary one. I think that these radar towers probably should be given a much larger radar radius, just to make it a little bit easier. And I think that hit indicator icon that flashed just a second ago may have actually been registering a hit against the radar tower itself, because the cannon unfortunately can be used to aim and hit the little radar tower thing that you can see. So that's one thing that really kind of annoys me about these radar towers. Just overall, I mean, I've mentioned in previous Battle of Britain episodes that any competent, really, organized German team can guarantee itself a victory on this map. And that's in part because of the general weakness that you've got with these radar towers. They don't show you really where the planes are coming from. You've got weird angles. The radar tower thing is, the antenna's in the way. Here's another flak gun right over here. This one's a little bit better, I guess. You don't get quite as much of a view toward the south, but at least you don't have the radar tower thing in the way. And they're probably not going to be bombing you directly. They're going to be concentrating on the radar tower itself. But the main reason why these things are ineffective is simply because they can avoid you. They can concentrate all their forces somewhere else on the map. So you can be sitting here kind of like I am now, with not a whole lot to do, no enemy planes around, nothing to shoot at, and just a couple of flak guns on the other side are going to have to bear the full brunt of the German force. Plus they can just attack the factory, of course. As far as I know, they're not coordinated or anything. They're not concentrating on any particular point, but they're definitely going to start off on the western side. The Germans almost always do. So I'm just going to take this jeep over here. There's a really nice flak gun emplacement just up ahead that will help you defend the factory while not putting you in harm's way.
Requesting reinforcements.
You can see there's the factory. They're already bombing it, although that could be just one guy. And what I really like about this flak gun is not only do you get a really nice view, there's a kill right off the bat, but as you can see, there's a good distance between us and the factory. There's a flak gun right in front of the factory, and as I showed you when I was playing as the German side using the bombers, they can simply bomb that flak gun along with the factory, so the flak gunner is automatically dead. There's also a flak gun on the other side of the factory to the west, and that one also gets bombed very easily. But this is the one flak gun, I think, that if you're doing bombing runs against the factory, this is the one flak gun where it seems you run into a lot of trouble, because you can't really hit it with your bomb load, and you don't save bombs for it, and it tends to take you by surprise a little bit. You can try to hit people with the flak gun as they parachute out. Very rare to actually kill them that way. I just barely missed it. There we go. That's another handy thing about the engineer kit, in addition, of course, to being able to repair the flak gun if it takes any damage. I've got a pretty good ping on this server, but even so, you've got to lead your targets tremendously. And that's why flak gunners usually don't get too many kills, is that you always underestimate the amount, just with the flak gun itself plus any lag. And also the planes are going pretty quickly too. Every once in a while, as you saw just a moment ago, the hit indicator will light up, and that means your flak gun shell has taken a direct hit against the enemy plane. I think I was distracting the guy more than anything. To get some idea of the effectiveness of these guns, you can kind of count up how many AA allies kill messages appear for the rest of the team. Most likely they're not going to be leading their targets as much as they should. You can also just kind of harass the enemies by putting up some flak all around them. Just getting some smoke around them will kind of put them off balance. The trick, of course, given how much you have to lead your targets, is that if you have to lead your targets a lot, you're not going to know where the plane is going to go if it's moving all around in different directions. So you have to kind of guess what its flight plan is going to be. And the closer the plane comes toward you, especially if it's actually moving in your direction, it makes it a lot easier to get a kill. Another thing about getting kills with flak guns is the pilots that you're shooting at really have a decision. They can choose when and whether to bail out of the plane. So if they want to deny you a kill, or they just don't want to get killed, they want to bail out, they can. As soon as they start taking some flak damage, it's going to take long enough to destroy the plane, so they're going to have ample warning, and they can just bail out of the plane. And that annoys also pilots to no end when you're shooting at a target and then he just bails out so you don't get credit for a kill. So you'll very frequently see people in the chat complaining about bailers. Bailer is apparently a huge insult I've seen over my many years of playing this game. There's always people complaining about bailers, as if it's bad etiquette to not die. And as always with this map, it's just a matter of waiting for the German tickets to bleed out. You hope that the factory is going to stay alive. You can kind of check on the status of the other radar towers by looking at the map and seeing if they're occupied. But the main thing is just hoping that the Germans are not smart enough to concentrate their attack power against the factory while there's still not too many defenders. Judging by the flak clouds in the air that are only coming from my gun, there's probably no one else really defending the factory. And of course, even me, I'm not truly defending the factory, because if I were, I would be close enough to the factory to repair it with my engineer kit. I'm not going to do that simply because it's really unrewarding and you're going to get bombed and killed anyway, but if the Allies are really strong on defense, they'll have a bunch of engineers over by the factory to repair it. That's one hit on. If he's not a medic, one more hit should knock him out. Unfortunately, he was buzzing around when I had some targets I could have been shooting at. Always check your radar to see the friendly planes. It's a lot easier than trying to distinguish between the Spitfire and BF-109s. Stay tuned for part 2.